Do you see yourself stepping away from writing?
I can't imagine it at this moment because I have so many stories that I want to write that are in my mind. But I think it could happen that someday I won't. Maybe the stories will run dry, or maybe my concentration will not lend itself to being able to write a novel. Like, I don't know. I'm 50, so I hope I have 15, maybe 20, 25 more years of book writing in me. But I don't know. My mother and I were talking about it, and she was saying someday you might, you're going to write until you can't write anymore. She was like, when you're almost 80 like me, you might discover you don't have the concentration or the energy anymore. But I there's no way to really know. I know that I'm not empty yet.
Oh, when the singularity happens and you transfer your conscious into a robot body, you could go on writing for centuries.
That's terrifying.
It was meant to be optimistic.
Okay, that's optimistic. Hooray, robot bodies.
Robot body, you don't have to wear a mask when you go shopping.
That's true. You don't have to worry about corona.
That's not a problem.
You don't have to disinfect, nothing.
It'd be a good deal.
Oh.
And then, okay, so Freak comes out, sets the world on fire, becomes Kirkus Book of the Year. How much easier is it for you then to publish your follow-up?
It was much easier. Without Tess was the next book. And that was a book that came straight from my heart. Actually, Without Tess and Trowbridge Road felt similar to me to write. Like, both of those books are just books of my heart that came out as what they ended up being when they were published. And Without Tess just took 1 year to write and be published. It took 1 year for the first draft, and then it was accepted at Farrar Straus, and then just 1 year in revision. And Trowbridge Road would have been pretty short in its publication too if it weren't for Corona, which really put us off course because it was coming out last May, and then we decided to wait a bit.
Yeah, I remember going back and forth. We were going to have this conversation back then, and then I had to write your publicist and say, I think it's the apocalypse, so I don't know how much I'm going to focus on the podcast for now.
Right. And we were thinking the same thing about the release of the book. Like, are there going to be bookstores? We don't know. Will people be able to get out of their house to go to a bookstore? Will Amazon still be putting things in people's doorsteps? But luckily, things have opened up a bit more, and I think we're in a place where the world is ready to have books again.
Well, I saw that you've got on your website a bunch of virtual events that you're doing and have been doing, and so how are you launching a book here in the time of Corona?
It's bizarre because I can't go anywhere to do this. Like, usually I do readings in bookstores and libraries, and I visit classrooms, and I can't do any of those things this year. I was all ready to speak at NCTE, and NCTE was canceled. But luckily, a lot of the conferences are finding virtual ways to exist. Like today, I spoke at NEIBA, and I was able to talk on a panel of authors virtually. And so it's just kind of a little different. But we're making it happen. On October 6th, when the book comes out, Concord Bookshop in Massachusetts, which is my local independent bookseller, are hosting me to have a virtual reading and signing. And so we're figuring out new ways to get books in people's hands.
What for all those that are also trying to figure out what the heck to do in this upside down world with a lunch, what kind of ways have you found?
Well, blogs have been a really big part of the way this book has sort of come out into the world, and that's really thanks to the hard work of my publicity team at Candlewick Press. So I think that they did a really good job getting ARCs out to different people who have blogs, like you with Middle Grade Ninja, and people who took an early interest in the book and were willing to interview me or have me write an article for their blog. Or I think that that's been a big part of it. I've been really grateful for those chances.